So what made them change? Was it merely the difference in climate? Or was it that they were influenced by people who were already living here? There are legendary stories of little blonde fairy people living in hobbit-like burrows and red-haired giants thundering across the landscape. Do these have any factual basis, or are they all just fairy stories? In this documentary, we're going to explore a much deeper history in New Zealand. A history that explains who these blonde and red-haired people were, where they came from, and why they are rarely seen today. The answers to these questions may well surprise you. Let's start with a well-known Kiwi legend about the blonde-haired fairy people of the forest.
When the Māori first arrived here, the first canoe was the Arawa canoe to land here. Captain was Tamata Kapua, who's buried here on our mountain. When they arrived here, they found a race of little people here, little fairy-like people, called the Patu Paerehi.
Māori respected them and even treated them with a little superstition, because these were the unseen people in the forest, the people they heard laughing at night and chuckling away, the people they heard rowing their small walkers across the lake at night time.
And my understanding is they were light-skinned, fair-skinned, with light to reddish hair. And they lived up on the mountain, on the slopes of Mount Moiho, in the mist. And they would come down the Onuhi Creek, down to the sea, and there they would fish. And they usually only came out at night or when it was very misty.
It is believed that when Māori came to this land, there were certain things and skills they did not have, they didn't bring with them. These are things they learnt off the Patu Paerehi. Now, the making of the fish nets was something which was a bit sneaky. There was a man, I think his name was Kahutua, and he was on a beach late one night, and he became aware of a number of people fishing in the dark and pulling on what turned out to be a net. He was able to join with these people pulling this net in, and it was full of fish. As it came in, it was getting close to dawn, and suddenly the people, as the first light started to shine, they turned around, saw that there was a person who was not one of them, and also the first light of the sun in the morning is the time where Patu Paerehi take off back into the forest away from the sun. So they abandoned their catch, abandoned the fishing net. And this young man looked at it and said, we can use this ourselves. The Patu Paerehi also taught Māori the cat's cradle. Also, a Māori flute, the putarino, a very, very simple device carved from wood. And it is believed that the Patu Paerehi, the fairy folk of the forest, taught Māori how to make the putarino.
And they were a magical people. They would bewitch people to put a spell on them, particularly women. And they would lure the woman away with this flute music, and they would never be seen again. And even now, there's some bushmen who go up and work on the slopes of the mountain. And I've heard they say when it's misty, sometimes they can just hear voices. They can hear people talking.
Did they exist as a small race of people, or were they indeed a fairy race of people?
We've been told about a place where these mythical people used to live. It's on the shores of Lake Okataina, and it's called Te Kotu Pa. I'll try and get out of here without doing old people noises. I could have easily slept in there. And it's actually a joiner, so maybe it was a double home for the pre-Te Arawa people who would have hidden from their enemies. Archaeologists say that there are storage sheds, but my feeling is this is a village site. There are hundreds along it. There are those that are much larger, probably family size, but not for tall people.